Let's hope this works. All right, we're live. So I'm guessing there's going to be a stream of people coming through. Let me tweet the link out, actually. All right, now calm. Forget it. I'm sure people would tune in as we're going. All right, cool. Hello, welcome to another Touchy Gooners podcast. My name is Lewis, and I'm joined today by Shabs and Dr. Leroy. How you doing, gentlemen?
Yo, I'm good, man. Well, I'm not good, but we'll get to that.
I'm going to say one more time. Drop it, bro. Just drop it. Yeah.
Bro, I'm never going to listen to you, so... and we got a special guest, Gomez, with us. Say, how you doing, man?
Yo, I'm not too bad, man. Not too bad. Excited to be on.
We're happy to have you on, man. I'm expecting some interesting opinions from you.
Yeah, you want them gems.
How can I provide that? Innit?
Yeah, maybe some alternative opinion. Although I'm not too sure. I think you guys, you kind of like align with negative Arsenal, that kind of section of the Arsenal community.
Yeah, I mean, you can only be negative, It's like we're doing so badly. I wish I could be positive, I wish, but
Don't we all, man?
About us being 14th, really and truly, or 15th. Are we
someone will be able to find a positive. Trust me, someone will be able to find a positive.
Not even El Pozzi himself can find positives. He's done.
El Pozzi's turned El Negativo.
El Pozzi's Oscar the Grouch, man.
Yeah. But before we start, just a couple plugs before we get into all the negativity. Let's start with some positive shit, shall we? So this pod is live on YouTube, and big up to everyone streaming in right now. Post a link, share the link, get as many people tuning into this as live as possible. You can leave your comments in here, and we can post them up as the show goes on. So big up all you lot. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube as well. Lots more video content coming. Also have access to our Discord server if you haven't joined already. We have all our live shows on our live streams for the games, our live match chats, sorry. In order to access them, you've got to be a patron. So go to our Patreon page. That will be in a bio at the bottom of the podcast. Become a patron, you get loads of interesting content. We've got another piece coming out tomorrow, don't we, Shabs? We're doing what's the title? 8 fixes for Arsenal in January or something like that.
Second half of the season. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're gonna tell Arteta how to fix the club in January. I'm not too sure how that's gonna turn out personally. I haven't actually come up with my fixes yet, so I'll work on that tonight.
Yeah.
But that's the plugs out of the way. Let's get into things. Gomez, I'll start with you, actually. Let's just have a little brief introduction to you. We know you personally on Twitter, obviously, but just in case the audience doesn't know who you are, what's your thoughts been on the season so far, and where do you stand with, what side of the fence are you on with Arteta?
Just before I get into it, I just want to give a bit of context so people don't think I have any agendas. But I was very much for the signing of Arteta, or for the hiring of Arteta. I still think the high risk, high reward unknowanism of Arteta was better than the known crapness we would have gotten from Emery or anyone else we would have hired. So, I still think it was the right move then, but it's been 12 months now, and you can't say anything else apart from we're going backwards. And the worrying thing for me is he seems like he's scrambling. He doesn't really know what he wants to do. And it looks like he's out of his depth. So I personally, I'm not hopeful. I'm not going to say I'm quite Arteta out just because I don't really know why. I just think Arsenal won't do it, so there's no point. But he's out of his depth. The way he manages isn't inducive to long-term success. He's still making rookie errors. Like, for me,
is he frauded you? Is he pulled the wool over your eyes as well? That's the kind of the impression I'm getting?
No, I wouldn't say he has, to be honest. Like, I think he's a bum, to be honest. Like, to be brutally honest, I think he's a bum. But I think if we could sack him now in a vacuum, I will sack him. Like, he should be gone. Like, it's our worst start after 50 years. He should be gone. But I think who will hire, I don't really trust Edu to hire anyone that would be better than Arteta. So you might just ride him out to the end of the season, and then if it's still stuck in mid-table, whatever, and there's an opportunity for Poch or somebody or like Rose in the summer, then I'll go for it. But right now, I'm not impressed. I think his philosophy stinks. I think the way he looks at football stinks. So yeah, I'm not really having it right now, to be honest.
Interesting stuff, man. So yeah, I think Gomez is kind of aligning with our thoughts on things. Let's talk about the game itself, because I don't think even the most optimistic Arsenal fan amongst us would have had us getting a result against Spurs on Sunday. So I guess that kind of softened the blow a little bit when things went exactly how the whole world thought they would go. The whole world thought they would go a certain way, and yeah, alas, it did go that way. So let's talk about the how we started the game. So obviously Arteta's continued with this 4-2-3-1 with Lacazette in the 10, and holding Gabriel centre back and traditional fullbacks. Were you guys surprised at all that that Arteta didn't revert back to the 3-4-3?
Yes, absolutely. Because I think for the tragedy that has been Arteta's Arsenal career, I think what he has done well is set up well in big games. I was not for it at all to begin with, but when I started to see some themes in terms of results against the big games, and it was tight. And I think being an Arsenal fan as well, you get used to we've become accustomed to being blown away in the big games. So when Arteta came in and we saw a greater degree of structure, even though it wasn't necessarily the football that we wanted to see, you say, okay, he's onto something here. So for me, this game, I was very surprised that he didn't play a three at the back. I was very surprised with both the lineup and the selection, if I'm being honest with you. Very surprised with the omission of Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Surprised that Oneni didn't start the game. Surprised that he continued with Lacazette in the 10. I was just surprised, man. Lots of different surprises for me. We have to be careful because I think we got to pick a side. We've also been calling for Arteta to do something different. Many of us were tired of three at the back. We wanted to see something different. He's given us something different, which I'm not entirely against, but that wasn't the right game for it, if you ask me.
Yeah, in my opinion, I feel like he's stuck between a rock and a hard place at the moment, because he's damned if he changes it and he's damned if he doesn't. So if he changes it, he's kind of like, Arteta doesn't know what he wants to do. Should he stick to his principles? Like, we have these philosophical conversations about what coaches should and shouldn't do when they come into a team, right? Leroy, do you think that Arteta should be sticking to his guns, or do you think he should be just doing whatever he can right now to get results?
Well, the thing is, I would like to see him a bit more of a nuanced approach, because I feel like if he played Burnley this weekend and he went with the formation he did against Spurs, I completely understand it, because he's addressing the problem that we had. The problem that we had is that we were relatively solid when he went to this back three hybrid system, but we couldn't score goals. And we couldn't score goals against teams that camped in against us. But in terms of the big teams, we were doing okay in the big games. So I just think he's just not really showed any. It's just kind of backwards thinking. So yes, I understand he went back 4 because he wanted to create more. But Spurs are top of the league. We all went into that game. We entered that game. They were heavy favourites. We just needed to not lose. We needed to be resolute, sharp. So if he went back to the back 3, that would make sense for that game. But obviously, this weekend is a different story. So yeah, I just think what he did didn't really make sense. And the thing is, you're saying he should stick to his guns and his philosophy. He's chopping and changing his philosophy. What is his philosophy?
I know we've seen like 12 different philosophies in last time. A philosophy a month.
I don't know. I don't know what his philosophy is, but going back to what he's been doing for the back end of last season, the beginning of this season, couldn't have been seen as a climb down or a back step. It'd just be seen as adapting to the game, which is the only games that we've had any type of success in so far.
Yeah, which is the big games, right? Like, I think there's a clear. He's obviously feeling the pressure right now, innit? We're not scoring. we're not winning games. There seems to be a clear, like, I think against Spurs, he placed a lot of emphasis on getting a positive result out of the game, which maybe in his eyes was a win. Whereas maybe when he first came, he probably would have set up a bit more defensively and been happy with a point. But has that pressure kind of like forced his hand?
I think it's rattled him. I just think what I'm seeing now is a rattled manager. You know, when Henry was in his last legs, just scraping around for any kind of success.
Yeah, man.
That's what Arteta looks like at the moment.
Yeah, shit's creek, no paddle, man. No, that's where he's at right now, man.
Yeah. So in terms of the team, though, so if would you have all gone to the 3-4-3 then? Is that
with this current setup? Yes, because it gives us a lot more stability and solidity. Because we had both our fullbacks pushed up, and Holding and Gabriel. Gabriel can hold it down, but everyone targets at their left side.
Yeah,
everyone targets it because you cannot leave Rob Holding in 20 yards of space. It's not going to go well.
Can't leave him in 10 yards.
Right hand side is like Vegan D and Vigi Dumb, innit? It's Bellerin and Holding over there.
Like you can't leave him isolated like that because he just doesn't have the ability to do it. Sorry, you can't do that. So especially in big games against top players, if we're going to be camped, the team's going to sit back and we're going to be camped in their half, and then we're going to be moving forward. Yeah, I can understand that. Fine, because they're not really going to get forward that much. But in that game with Son, Kane, it's stupid.
Yeah, I do think the fullback thing, the high fullback thing, it does help. They were extremely high and wide, both Tierney and Bellerin. It does help us in terms of build up, having the option, stretching the width of the pitch. Bellerin was proper on the touchline. It's good in terms of build up. It's horrible when it breaks down. It's horrible when play breaks down, and it just left us quite a few times in the first half in like a just such a vulnerable position, man. And Bellerin doesn't have the recovery pace. He doesn't have the legs to kind of get back. So that to me is a risk. And then it's the fact that they persisted. It's the fact that Bellerin didn't see the signs when it happened early in the game. Partey, I don't think his head was really in the game. I think in a different game he offers a bit more security. But yeah, obviously there were question marks about his fitness. Granit Xhaka's never going to see the signs either. So between one of them, you'd expect maybe if Bellerin does go so far forward, or Tierney, then at least one of your central midfielders sits a bit deeper and tries to help out and offer a bit of security when it breaks down. I'd want that to be whoever partners Partey rather than Partey himself, because we know what he gives us moving forward. But no one in that midfield, the Swiss guy, wasn't smart enough, and it's tiring, man. The Swiss guy. We're not referring to him as anything other than that, to be honest with you, because why should we? Like, he's just some Swiss guy that plays for us. Like, that's what he is. So yeah, man, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. Because I don't mind. I think one fullback has to either tuck in, on one side whilst the other goes high, or vice versa, or a centre midfielder has to kind of sit and offer assurance and protect your centre backs. And again, I think we saw this early days under Arteta, so I don't know why we've reverted to it. We saw Xhaka used to do that, kind of pick up the ball in the left half space, in the left defensive zone, and sit there as well sometimes. But we're not seeing anything like it, and this is it, man. It's just it's crazy. I was mortified at what I saw on Sunday.
So I guess the question is, but before we get into like the game's events, obviously I think most of us knew before the game what Jose was going to try and do. So I guess the question is what do you do when you're the opposing manager against Jose, and you know fully well what he's going to do? He's going to sit back. What do you do? How do you get them to come out?
Think it out. Nah, don't worry about that. We are in a bad situation. We don't need to come out. We just need to not lose. Stink it out. Make it dead. I don't care. For one, listen, you know me, I'm a proponent for attacking football. I like to be entertained. Against Spurs, I do not give a fuck. I do not give a toss. Get the result. Stink the place out if you have to. You're going to their ground as well. The onus is on them. They're top of the league.
Yeah, a draw would have been a decent result, and he could have easily brought like Ainsley in And even if he wanted to keep 4 at the back, he could have brought Ainsley in at right back and then maybe like tucked him in. So he would have just sat there waiting for Son on the counter attack. So I feel like not only did he go for the wrong formation, he went for the wrong team selection with Bellerin and Holding. And he had solutions there where he could have used Ainsley. And, you could have just had him tucked in and just been sat there waiting for Son. Instead of just Bellerin pushing up, especially when like our front 4 and Bellerin aren't really technically reliable. You're just going to be giving them transition opportunities. It felt really naive from Arteta, and in the big games he hadn't really been naive up until last weekend. So
and Gomez, you said like the wrong personnel as well in terms of who did you say? Bellerin and
it's mainly Bellerin, but I would have just played Saliba, to be honest.
Bellerin and Holding, you said, but also
Saliba's ready now. By the way, guys, apparently he's ready to play now.
But also, we picked the wrong guy in terms of picking the Swiss guy. You picked the wrong guy in terms of starting with Partey. You picked the wrong guy in terms of Lacazette. And So there were so many positions or individuals who he selected on Sunday who he probably should not have, he definitely should not have selected. I don't understand why. Imagine me like we're talking about El Neni and reasons why he should be included in the side. This is how you know it's bad. Like it's bad because I'm advocating for El Neni to start. And if you don't know me from before, I'm like I transfer list this guy on Football Manager from the first day every single year. I get like, what are we doing? But I'm calling for him to start the game. Like, what is going on? It's crazy. So, man, what shit's good. Ceballos, I think he could have started the game. I don't understand why he didn't. But, yeah, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about that opening goal then, because, it was written in the textbook of what was going to happen, right? An attacking. I think Anton said something really big up. Anton, actually, very good appearance on Touchline on Sunday. He said some very interesting things, and it's something that he said quite stuck with me actually. And it was that the worst thing that you can be in the Premier League is have a poor attack, and there was nothing more true than our attack on Sunday, because despite having 70% possession, 44 something crosses, we outshot them. We never really looked threatening, and Tottenham were quite comfortable throughout the game, and they just looked to pick us off really. And ultimately it was a couple poor attacks from us which saw the ball break down, and they scored both of their goals from. What was the first one? Was the first goal was that Bellerin crossing it to Aubameyang, but he kind of put it behind him? Or what was
that was the second goal. The first goal was I think the pass just got cut out, didn't it? And Son got onto no.
Yeah, I think it got cut on the edge of the box, and then it went straight up to Kane.
Yeah, that's it.
He played Son in,
and Bellerin wasn't watching Son Bellerin wasn't watching Son, right? He just snuck in behind.
Yeah. So Bellerin had no awareness of Son. The ball came in. Partey was trying. Partey was probably the closest to Kane when he brought the ball down.
It was Gabriel.
Kane. Gabriel. Was it Gabriel?
I thought Gabriel should have been a tiny bit closer to him and probably fouled him.
But that was the other thing. One had to engage and one had to drop. Gabriel had to engage, Holding had to drop. And you know what? I think the issue is Gabriel doesn't have confidence in his partner. He does not have confidence in his partner. So he feels like, I have to do this all. I have to cover everything in the air. I have to cover everything on deck. I have to cover everything in behind. I have to cover my side. I have to cover the right-hand side. We had to come and bail them out the other day against Wolves, and that's why he got done like that. But I think that's the issue. But Kane brought it down, turned and just played it in. Xhaka was trying to win the ball from in front of Kane. I don't understand it. He was goal side and tried to run around the front of Kane, who turned away and just played it out to Son. Bellerin was just busting the gut to get back. Holding was dropped off to about the edge of the box, and then carried on dropping off. I think Regular made a decoy run on the outside. Someone was running on the outside, and I think Holding should have engaged Son in my you can't sag off that much and just continue to allow him to come forward. I think Holding should have engaged him, but I think he was distracted by the decoy run. I think that the run was the ball was never going out wide, and if it did, Bellerin was making that pathetic recovery run on the inside where he probably would have made it to Reguilon had the ball gone there. But in the end, the indecisiveness, and Son comes inside and hits it. I was surprised that he hit it when he did, but I thought it was a brilliant strike. And yeah, man, it just flew in. And I say what you want about the keeper, but
yeah, I was going to say, any fault to blame at the feet of Leno?
It looks like it should never go in from there. But
I know you were getting onto Leno in the group chat, yeah,
bro. It's 30 yards out, you know.
But he put it outside the post and it hit the side netting. What's he supposed to do?
My concern is with Leno, he seemed to be way too far off his line.
Really?
Yeah, he was. I think
way too far.
I think he was too far. He wasn't set. Maybe he just didn't expect him to shoot,
just outside of his 6-yard box. But I haven't watched the goal back since, so I don't know
where you want him to be, because the thing is, he's going to think if they slip a ball through, he wants to be ready to sort of come out and actually smother it. And that's in that position. But watch that again. He put that outside the post. What are you supposed to do about it? And it literally just hit the side netting on the way in. That was a mad finish. Finish.
It was a sick goal. I was probably a bit too harsh at Leno at the time.
Who saved that?
Maybe I think some keepers do save it. You know,
I don't think Alisson saves that.
I think his positioning was a bit off though. But I think he, from like when I was watching it, I thought he was already high. But I think it was high. Like they must have told him to play high. And play like sweeper keeper just in case Kane plays any balls in. Because I think he was high when Son actually got the ball, and you see him, he's dropping back, and then he's not actually set. But I don't think he would have saved even if he was like on his line.
I struggle to see who says that in the league. What, maybe Mendy because he's quite athletic.
Yeah. So what happened with the second goal then? Is that the one where Bellerin? So that was the one on half time, right? Let's talk this through. Right, let's talk this through, because there's about a million things that happen on this goal that are quite annoying, and I don't want to get onto my boy because you know me, I'm a Shanti, you know, Thomas Partey is my guy, you know,
but you have to call him out when you have to, just for today, just for now, you know what I mean, and it's okay. It's
just for today, he's still my guy, but why? My thing is, I've got this theory, right? I don't know how true it is, but you've just spent Partey's 27. He spent last 7 years playing for Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone.
Yeah.
I wonder, in that same situation, and you're playing for Atletico Madrid, does he do that? I just wonder, is it a mentality thing in this squad where you just do dumb shit that you don't know how to win football games anymore, and you lose, you just become this nice guy?
Do you know what? I'm gonna be. I don't mean to defend Partey here, right? I don't think he thought the team were going to lose the ball. And this is going back to what you're saying about having a bad attack. Because the position we had it in, we shouldn't have lost the ball. Why is it breaking down there? And I thought he'd come over to speak to Arteta and say, look, this is peak. I need to come off.
He did.
But he didn't expect the ball to break down in that position. Because he turned around and he looked, oh, shit. What was going on? He was surprised, you know what I mean?
No, he looked twice, because he looked at first and saw, we're on the edge of the box with the ball. Because remember, he gets injured closest to the touchline just in the build-up to that. And remember, we had the possession, turned it over quickly. He's crunched someone. Lacazette, I think, has then got the seconds, and we've played it forward. I think it might have broken down again and then gone up really quickly. So there were a quick turnover of possession a few times. Bellerin now, who actually, I know we're really harsh on him. I still think he's one of our best players in the final third, which speaks to how bad we've been. I think in the final third, if he plays the ball the other side, it's a chance created, and surely Aubameyang's on goal. I just don't understand why he's trying to cut the ball back there, when I think Bellerin, Aubameyang really if you just put that on a plate for Aubameyang, that's all you need to do. So I don't understand why Bellerin kind of cut it back, but he does. Aubameyang completely misreads the situation. At first, I looked at him and thought, Aubameyang, why? You know what I mean? Like, like he couldn't quite get there, and then it's broken down. But I can't blame him for that at all. He wants the ball ahead of him. Do you see what I'm saying? And then they get the ball. It goes up the pitch, and then they're on. Like they're on. Like I think one pass, and then it's 4 against. Yeah, it's 3 against 2, 4 against 2.
5 against 2.
Yeah, and
it was one pass out. What was it from Aurier into what's not
the Celso?
Celso, and then literally it's 5 against 2.
Yeah, yeah. And I think with all of that, because like describing the build-up, we was talking about Partey, but remember, I think he gets injured, or well, he feels something. I think when he goes in for the crunch, he's by the touchline. I think he says at that. I think he gets up and says something at that point. Yeah, he should stay on the pitch. Yeah, he should stay down. He's not a juvenile. He's not a rookie. He should know better. He should have just stayed there. But I think he feels something. I didn't think his head was really in the game to begin with. You know, and I think a bit of rustiness.
He was, but he was still probably our best player in the first half.
Yeah, I think so. And I think, you know, he played. You know, I remember in the first half he played a pass through. He was kind of in that left, like in that on that left hand side. And he played the pass through. I can't remember who he played it through, and it kind of went out off of the byline. But again, I saw the intent was there. You know what I mean? It was just a bit. It looked like rustiness, and there were a few other things that he done. And I thought, yeah, this guy's rusty. But yeah, man, he should have stayed down there. He should have just stayed down, and I don't think he does that at Atletico. No way. I don't think he does that under Simeone.
So why is it a thing here then?
It's culture, man. It's the culture.
Already, he's only been there 2 weeks.
It's the culture, man.
What kind of culture vulturing is that? That's some Drake level culture vulturing, mate. You spend 2 weeks with someone and you adopt their culture already.
It's catastrophic culture, mate. That's what it is. CC.
Boy, Gomez, what do you think? What do you think Partey should have done in that situation?
I kind of read it the same as you, man. Where I think he did just go over to the bench just to tell him, like, "Yo, I'm done. I need to come off." But he should have, like, obviously, he didn't think we were gonna turn it over, and you know, it was 2 against 5. Even if he was on the pitch, it would have been 3 against 5. We still outnumbered them offensively, and we just like Bellerin just passed it straight to Aurier. So there's nothing really you can do. And then, then
is Xhaka running into the box as well for that one?
Yeah, Xhaka and Tierney.
I think so.
Both running, and then
yeah,
we'll dust it.
But Xhaka as well, he's another one, because if you look at when the play broke down, he went to engage, had no chance, like absolutely no chance. I don't just understand why he didn't just drop, retreat, start making the recovery, run like earlier. We probably still would have conceded, but you know, it would have given us a chance. It would have given them something to think about. It would have reduced the odds and forced them into making a decision. But yeah, man, they had us, man. They had us, and these two, Son and Kane, are on song. And yeah, man. And I still think, despite being outnumbered, it was an amazing finish from Kane, but like keeper's done basically at the near post, like.
Oh, that's harsh. Now I'm even going to say that one's harsh. Oh, your mic's gone, Shams. Your mic's gone. But yeah, no.
That's harsh, man. He pinged it and it hit
that one in, man. Packed him in, bro.
Yeah.
Even me, I'm not going to blame Leno on that one.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. I want to come back, but yeah, man. It's crazy, crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was a quality break from them. They executed it really well.
Yeah, it's
mad. Both of their goals were sick.
Yeah.
It's mad annoying that like they literally had 4 attacks all game and scored 2 goals.
Well, that's because no one rates us. We're pathetic. We can't. We have no danger to anybody. Like no danger whatsoever. So people don't even need to put themselves at risk. It's like they're laughing at us. It's like in boxing where you know someone can't bang, you just walk them forward. It's just you just know they can't do nothing to you.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about what we try to do then, because we've gone through Spurs' goals.
Moyes' boys, bro. Oh,
Moyes' boys.
I've never seen anything like it. Turn it, whip it. Turn it, whip it.
44 crosses. Yeah. So look, Leroy, I think you've said before that you quite like the whole.
I like crossing inshallah when it's done properly. Like, so if you're doing crossing inshallah, you need fantastic crosses of the ball. Number 2, you need a structure in the box. So it's not just let's flood men into the box. You need, right, you go front post, you like a triangle, a box. You need a plan of where you're putting the ball, where your attacking players are going to be, and that's how you score goals. So it's high quality balls and high quality movement. We just seem to like Tierney's getting back. Tierney's not even looking, bro. He's just swinging it in. Bellerin, poor quality crosses. There's no structure to it. We're literally just throwing aimless crosses in. And another thing about the cross game is, are you doing an early cross? Is it a ground cross? We're doing the type of crosses in the air where our players are not going to win it against meathead defenders. It's not happening. So what we're doing is literally inshallah, bro. Like literally, that's all it is. It's not there is no game plan to it. You're just getting as many crosses in, hoisting it in, seeing what happens. There's no plan there.
It's embarrassing, man.
Yeah, my thing is about the crosses. I think I'm not adverse to crossing because I think in the right, like Leroy said, in the right kind of setup, crossing can be quite dangerous. But when you're analyzing crosses, and if you analyze like Arsenal's crosses in this game, 99% of them were against like set boxes. So like you got Toby and what was the geezer?
Dyer?
Roden? No, who played at back for Spurs? It was Dyer.
Yeah, I think it was Dyer.
Yeah.
Was it Dyer?
Yeah.
Exactly. So they were all set. Number one. So, but the reason it works so well for like teams like Liverpool and Man City is they're able to disorientate a defense, whip a ball in, and you get runners into the box. We were literally, there were so many times we just put Oba and Lacazette in the box and it was just trying to whip long balls into them. And it was, yeah, man, it was fucking pathetic, bro. Like crosses in general, don't ask me how I know this, but crosses in general, and especially the crosses that we were doing, you got like between like a 0 and 5% chance of scoring from a cross. Like that's the kind of levels we're talking about. Those kind of crosses that we're talking about, you know, and it's even more infuriating that after the game, Arteta comes. Was it after this game or was it after the previous game where Arteta was like, "Well, you know, if we keep going that, it's only going to be a matter of time before you know you put in that many crosses, it's going to."
That was the last game.
Yeah, okay, maybe if you put in 70 crosses, maybe just one of them might land in a lucky position. But what kind of strategy is that, man?
It's foolishness. He said, "I'm nearly sure that if we cross the ball more."
He said it's the what did he say? It's the mathematics or something like that. Simple math. Simple math.
This guy is
fucking Albert Einstein himself.
Crazy. Do you know how crazy that is? Like big press conference. Like I can't remember his press conference or interview to come out and say that. Like I'm nearly sure that if we cross the ball more, it will lead to more goals and goal scoring opportunities for us. This is your big plan. I do
wonder what you've seen. Go on, sorry, Gomez.
No, I was going to say, like, it seemed like this strategy just come out the last two or three
two games.
Like, where it's come from and why he's now diverted to this strategy. Because before, even when we had the 3-4-3, we couldn't really create any separation, but we were still creating some chances and they were falling to Lacazette. And the theory was if you just moved Aubameyang up front, you'd end up getting more chances, and those chances you'd end up scoring. Now he's like changed it completely. He's gone and said, "Okay, I'm going to move Aubameyang up front, but now I want to cross it every single time. We're just going to work it out wide as quickly as possible, and then just cross it at the first opportunity." And it's like you guys said, it's against a set defense. At least do some sort of combinations to try and like move the defense around. And then you might get some runners on that defender's blind side, or you can maybe create an alleyway where, you know, the defense isn't set, so you can put it in between the keeper and the centre backs. But all we're doing is just like Tottenham were really narrow. They were showing us out wide. We'll go out wide and we'll just cross it. And just like, you're not going to score or fashion many chances that way. It's low percentage football.
Yeah, 100%. And even with crosses, you get the whole like bit of chaos in the box. There's not going to be that if the defense is set. Like they've packed the box. They've got their men on the outside of the area ready to get the seconds and to break on us. Like it's a nonsensical thing. And yeah, you're right. It does seem to be a tactics that's just come like over the last few weeks. Like we were doing this horseshoe kind of pass map shit, and it's kind of like he said to himself, "Oh, all right, cool. Well, when we do actually get wide now, rather than maybe passing it back inside, why don't we just go for a cross instead.
Why don't we try penetrate? This is you know, the advancement on his base tactics. This is like phase 2.
The whole national break, the whole international break this is
to
the plan.
figure out this master plan.
Bro, this guy's a fraud. You know when waffling. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. You know when he busts, and you know there was the video of him around the training ground, and he went to the room and he said, "Where's the drones?" I'm still waiting to understand what benefit.
He wants the drones so he can fucking see the stupid crosses.
I'm still waiting to understand like the benefit or see the merit of the drones that he asked for, because right now I can't see not one dividend.
You got drones?
I can't see not one dividend. I swear down, like I'm confused. I'm confused.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Aubameyang, because I think he probably had our best chance of the game, which actually came from a cross, right? It was a header, which maybe he should have done better with, or am I being a little bit harsh?
I don't remember I remember a Laka header, but I can't remember.
But Laka had a header that Hugo Lloris saved, but didn't Oba have a header that he put wide?
Yeah,
Did he?
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
He had one where Tierney crossed it in, and then he was like kind of back post, and I think he put it over.
Was it over?
Yeah.
Was it a good chance?
I think I remember.
Yeah, it was a good chance, but
maybe I'm confusing the Wolves game as well. Both those fucking games seem the same to me.
Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult-ish chance, but for me, like his movement wasn't that great. Like he seemed like he was like 3 or 4. It seemed like he was like 5 yards behind Dyer's blind side, and he didn't make his run early enough. And then when it came in, he was like struggling to get over the ball, and then it went over. I feel like if he was a bit more sharp and a bit more confident, or maybe we had actually practiced crossing it in, and we had some like patterns of play, then maybe he would have made that run a bit sooner and actually got into that position. But
yeah, I'm just rewatching it now. Yeah, it's he's put it over, and there's that was a Laka one. Yeah, he's put it over. He's run off back stick and put it over. Are you guys worried about Oba?
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't worried about it.
I am, because inevitably, I think I understand why you're not worried about him, Leroy. And I think bigger picture, if we recruit properly, if we start creating, then over the long term, I'm not worried about him. But in the moment, yeah, I am. Of course, I am. I'm worried for him, not about him. And it's because these things affect your confidence. And I think he has to be low on confidence at the moment. And I do think it's affecting his overall level of performance. And this is a player who, is never really involved in games anyway. He, his inputs and his contributions are by and large in the final third, mostly in the box, doing his business and putting it away. If there's he's a striker who thrives on service. If there's no service at all, then you think like, what is his game? What does he have to offer us? Yeah, man, I do think it does affect him. I do think it affects his confidence. Really.
You know what? I think he's been netting for too long and knows he's too elite to let something like this affect his confidence. Because I think Oba, in his heart of hearts, is saying, I know I'm wavy. You man are shit. That's what's in his head. And he's not, it's less of a lack of confidence and more fed up. So he's not making runs because he knows the ball's not coming. He's really putting in the effort because he knows this is dead. Like, when you're just angry.
Yeah, you can't be bothered. But I think that still affects his overall performances.
Yeah,
and that impacts on the team's performances. Yeah. It does. Even though we're shit, it's our fault. It's not your fault. I
agree with that. So it affects his overall performance, but you get quality in there and he starts seeing this about, ball's not netting again. I don't have an issue with him in terms of his qualities.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Go on.
Did you see what his agent posted on Instagram?
Yeah.
Where the graphic with the like 20th chances. He's fed up. He's completely fed up.
Completely fed up.
He's rightfully so as well. Like Aubameyang last 2 years, he's shown us even if he's fed scraps, he can bag 30 goals. So the fact that he's not even bagging right now, he's not even getting scraps. So it's like Arteta just has to do more to get him chances, and that's literally it.
Yeah, it's the bread and butter. That is it.
I wouldn't say I'm worried about Oba, but I think he had another chance, didn't he? Where it was very similar to the chance that he scored against Chelsea in the FA Cup final. And I can't remember, was it Toby he was up against?
Yeah, he got caught. He got caught, didn't he?
Yeah,
Exactly,
and that, I don't know, that kind of made me feel a bit like, maybe that was just a confidence thing. I don't know, but that kind of made me think, like, is this the same player? Is this the same player physically? Is this the same player mentally? Has he like clocked out? Has he checked out now? Like he's secured the bag? I don't know. I don't know. I hate having these conversations because we're not in the psyche of the player, right? And you like to think that these players are the top professionals. They're elite winners. To get to this level in football, you're going to have that elite mentality. But I look at someone like Willian who has checked out. So why couldn't the same be true for Aubameyang?
Yeah, no, I think it's true. I think it happens. Like, I think I alluded to it. I think Leroy said it. I'm not sure if Gomez, you feel the same. I think he's taken his ball and he's gone home. And he said, when you lot are ready to come and play and be serious again, then I'm here. I'll net for you. But until then, and not a moment sooner, I ain't. Because also, you know, all this talk about him being promised that one of the conditions of him signing was, you know, I need creativity, I need something. And we've let him down. All this talk about, oh yeah, Oba he's signed and he's not, you know, he's not performing now ever since it. What has he had? What opportunities has he had? What have we done in any game to kind of benefit him, you know, to support him, to play to his strengths? We've done nothing, man. We let him down every single week with the guys who get sent out with him. It's craziness. So I can't blame him. I'm not mad at him. I just think, yeah, he has checked out. I think he's taken his ball. He's gone home. When he's waiting for January to see what happens there, hopefully some magic can come. And I think, yeah, he'll have a much better second half. I hope he'll have a much better second half of the season than he's had so far. But again, that's on us, not on him. And if he doesn't, then I'm sure it would be on us. It's because we're not creating for him. Because if we create for him, he will score. If Bellerin plays that pass the other side, you know, that we score, we equalize 1-1. You know, the game's different. You know, it's just things like that. That's what I think.
With him being captain, though, do you think we should expect more? Like, I agree with you. I think he has checked out, and I think we can see that in his body language. But he is the club captain at the end of the day as well. So
is it a bit of an? I don't know. Should Oba even be? I don't know. How much relevance does the club captain thing have these days? Is it a big deal? I don't know.
His game is his game. This is by and large the footballer he's always been. So he's not, you know, because he's captain. He's not gonna start, you know, picking the ball up deep and beating 4, 5, 6 players en route to goal. You know, that's just not gonna happen. This is his game. His game has always thrived on, you know, chances being created for him. You put it on the plate for him. You give it to him in areas where he can do damage. He does the damage. That's it. The rest is history. So I don't know. And if you're talking about run more, maybe effort, again, like it's already been said, like he's given up making runs because these players don't find him. What's the point? Like, I see, we were talking about this like 3 or 4 games ago. We'll probably talk about it in the Leeds game where he was reverted back up front through the middle. And we were saying the amount of times that this guy made runs and no one found him. And then, like, you see as the game fades on, he thinks, I'm not going to make that run. Why am I going to go in behind foot? It doesn't matter how many times I do this. No one is going to find me. What's the point? What is the point? So I'm not mad at him. That's where I'm at with it.
Anything more you guys want to talk about the game? Any other points you guys want to make?
Nelson not being in the squad was a bit stupid from my perspective. You played him 60 minutes in the Europa League, so everyone's thinking, you know, Pepe's suspended, Martinelli's injured. You know, if you're going to start Willian and Saka, you're going to have no wingers on the bench. And then all of a sudden he's not in the squad. And now Williams playing the full 90 minutes and stinking it up. Like, at least you could have brought, Nelson. Like, bring Nelson on the bench, and then he gives you an option. But I thought that stank. But yeah, that's just Arteta in it.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that. We had like 4 centre midfielders on the bench.
Yeah, I agree, and I think again you have to look at the themes, because this is a theme that we can't even say emergent. It's been there, where there aren't game changers on the bench, so we don't have game changers anyway. But when you look at who makes the squads from week to week in the Premier League, you look on that bench and you say, when the game's not going our way, who can we actually bring on that can make a difference? And there's no one. There's no one. That like there is not, like when it went to shit, I was like, okay, it's less about the fact that this is the score now, more about that we can't do anything to change the score. Like, these players have to go up 5 gears in the second half, or we've got to get a miracle from one of our players or a calamity from one of their players, like to kind of level it out. I said there's absolutely no chance that we can do anything about this now, because who's he got on the bench? Sorry, maybe Ceballos, but I didn't even have confidence. Like, low block, Ceballos ain't gonna come in and do jack.
No, fair enough. We've got Burnley next, right?
Low block central.
It's going to be like 100 crosses.
What do we do?
It's going to be a joke.
At least they're not going to hit us on a break like Spurs, right?
Wait, you say that. You say that. What's his name? Dwight McNeil. I think he's going to cause us some pain, man. And he's on that left-hand side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dwight McNeil, man. McNeil.
What changes would you guys make to the team for against Burnley? What would you guys do? How would you guys set up?
Saliba in.
Saliba.
Realistically speaking, guys. Realistically speaking.
You asked me what changes I would make. Am I allowed to? Are we allowed to? Are we allowed to say it
Saliba is
or
not
no?
playing, bruv.
There's change.
And he just got. I don't think he can even play. Can he? He just got sent off for the Rezzies.
Oh, did
He was balling that game, bro.
Say that again.
He was balling that game.
Was he?
Yeah.
What, they lost 3-0?
We had 10 men. We had 10 men before he got sent off.
He would play. I'd play him. We can't play him.
Why is he playing in that stupid competition, bruv?
It'd be
In hell, man.
look, man. I'd have David Luiz, Gabriel,
Is he back?
Tierney,
Or has he had another fucking baby this week?
Ainsley Maitland-Niles. No, it was a head injury, man. It was his head injury.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
His head injuries. Yeah. I'd play El Neni. I'd play Ceballos.
El Neni Ceballos midfield, yeah?
Yeah, I would. I think Pepe should be back.
No, Pepe's not back.
Pepe's still missing.
Still got one more game.
Fuck. Saka, Reece Nelson. I don't know what I'd do about the 10. I'll be honest with you. Aubameyang would obviously play up front. I'd have ESR on the bench. Yeah, Willian, man. I don't want Willian around, man. Because he's another one, man. Like, he got off light because really, like, we didn't really speak about him in the Tottenham, about like when we touched on the Tottenham game. He's been stinking up the joint for weeks now. But yeah.
Is there a case for Ainsley Maitland-Niles playing midfield?
I'd have him at right back, personally.
You need him at right back.
Yeah.
Even against Burnley?
Dwight McNeil against Bellerin, like, that's
Done, man. Just forget it.
that's for trouble.
My worry with Ainsley Maitland-Niles at right back is I don't think he's good enough offensively to. I think we'd be negating ourselves offensively by putting Maitland-Niles there.
At least we don't create chances anyway. It doesn't matter.
We're going to be doing even worse with Ainsley Maitland-Niles there. So that's my thing. That's my thinking.
What we can afford to be is braver.
Like you said it yourself.
Position.
You said it yourself. Bellerin is one of our best final third players.
Yeah, he is.
So from time that you're removing him from the equation and putting in someone like Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who is, boy.
Bellerin needs to be removed from the firing line, even for his own good, even for himself, like as a protective move. Like, I wouldn't start Bellerin, like genuinely, like, you know, between his foul throws, Like, you know,
Fucking
he's
hell.
out of breath every week. Like, you know, he can't make recovery runs. Him turn up, like I just wouldn't start him. I honestly wouldn't start him. I'd rest him to protect him if nothing else. Like,
The fans are getting onto him as well. So
yes, yeah. It
Same-
starts to get nasty.
yeah, same thing that happened to Lacazette a couple of weeks ago, where the man just kept playing him, and he's going through a bad run of form, and everyone starts piling on him. The man just take him out the firing line, like rotate him, but he's too stubborn, isn't it? So
Well, there's one man who definitely is going to be playing. That's Willian, right?
I'll play Willian 10, to be honest, and see how it goes. I'll play 4-2-3-1, Willian 10, Saka, Nelson on the wings.
Oh my God.
But there's nothing else.
This was so bad, but we're playing Saka, Nelson, and Willian in the three out of the four most important positions on the pitch.
Yeah, it's craziness.
We are finished. We are absolutely finished.
We're done.
Oh God, that
We're
is
done.
so bad.
Yeah.
None of them anywhere near a starting 11 in a top 10 side, let alone Arsenal. Oh, let alone where we want to be. Well, we are a top 15 side now, just about now.
Yeah. Yeah, we do need to be careful with Saka, because that over reliance on Saka and like he got beaten up against Tottenham. Like this guy had a bloody nose, everything. Like he got
got a nosebleed.
he got beaten up. Like, you know, he took knocks, he got chopped, he got fouled up. Like his load has been heavy. You know, such as our reliance on him, our over reliance on him, and I think we need to be careful. I think the other thing as well, Saka and Tierney, they're both young. Obviously, Tierney's older, way more experienced. But like, you know, the positions that they take up, man, they get into the same spaces and are at times on top of each other, and I don't like it. And I think it needs to be worked on, man, because like it's like you've got that left back who likes to overlap, you know, getting them spaces and get the crosses in. But yeah, Saka is out there a lot as well, man. And I think like it's just coaching. That's what it is. It's just coaching. But I haven't even seen that. I might even consider playing Saka inside centrally. I know people have said it stinks, but or people don't prefer it. But I might even consider playing him inside as something different. Yeah.
Do you think that because obviously we brought on Nketiah on Sunday, and I think it's quite clear to see that Nketiah is not really providing us with that booster quality that we need. Is there a case to be said that, say, I'm hoping Balogun starts tomorrow, although I can't see it. I think Eddie's probably going to get the minutes. But if there's, I don't know, say for example, it's 0-0 tomorrow and then Balogun comes on and scores 2. Do you think there's a case that Balogun should be included in the squad for Burnley? Just, I know that's a mad hypothetical situation. I'm just wondering how fast do you think he could be fast-tracked, and if he should be fast-tracked at all?
Instead of Nketiah, or just included in the squad period?
You can only have 7 subs, right? So it's probably going to be either or. I don't think you can afford to have 2 strikers on the bench.
I don't think you can justify starting or putting Balogun in the Premier League if you're not even getting minutes in the Europa.
Yeah.
If played in the Europa, the full game, smashes it, fair enough. But we're not even seeing him get minutes in that competition. So how can you?
I just have no. I like Eddie, but the more I see him, I'm becoming more and more convinced that I don't think he is even good enough to be a squad level player for us.
I think we have to be fair, though.
I'm going to my original position on Eddie.
But I think we have to be fair, because again, like, what if Oba, who is a hitter, is not getting chances? What chance does he have? What chance does anyone else in the squad have?
But I'm even looking at Eddie's performance in the Europa League.
Yeah, that's
where we are making chances,
and that's
all I'm judging it on. I'm not judging it off the bench appearances there. And like, I'm not going to do that to him. But I'm more talking about Europa League. I don't think he's really stood out in the Europa League, to be honest. I know he scored a few goals, but
yeah, I get what you mean, and I think that is fair. I think that's fair. But yeah, I agree with Leroy in terms of Balogun, and it's unreasonable to expect him to be involved in Premier League squads when he's not starting games. It's like ESR, you know. It's the same thing. Like I'm calling for ESR to start games, but I know it's a pipe dream right now because he's not even starting in Europa. I want him to start, because I just think at this point, let's just see something different. But yeah, man.
I think both of them are ready to start Europa games, though. It's just the manager's not playing them. Like, ideally, you would have used that as a kind of a playground to like evaluate
acid test,
Yeah, exactly. Like, evaluate where Balogun is, evaluate where Smith Rowe is. Instead, like, he's wasting subs on Willian, trying to get his confidence up, and he's still stinking out in the Europa League. So, like, what's going on? I don't understand. Like, instead of playing the youngsters, he's bringing on Tierney in the Europa League, and Ceballos. And he's played Willian in every single cup game and Europa League game for the last half an hour, trying to get him to score a fluky goal so he can try and get up. Like, you're just wasting minutes.
Almost like Kia Jarabchan's got some kind of appearance-based bonus headed his way or something like that.
So, Joe.
Okay, I'm going to do some listeners' questions. Guys, if you're listening on the YouTube live, feel free to send in some of your questions. If not, I'll do it from our Patreons and whatever we got through the Twitter as well. So I've got one here from Shamak, who's a patron. He asks, how bad will things have to get before the club has to seriously consider sacking Arteta? What happens if we lose Burnley?
Well, no, I don't think he's going to get sacked unless we're in serious threat of relegation.
We're not going to get relegated.
We could. I'm
wrong about everything, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to get relegated.
I'm not relaxed about relegation.
If you lose on a weekend, then I might consider we might get relegated. Just because
I'm not relaxed about it. I'm concerned.
You're concerned. The only thing is, like, West Brom, Burnley, and Sheffield United, like that, those three teams, I just don't see getting enough points. Even if you get like 30 or 40 points, I don't see them.
And also, I do think we're going to finish above 15th. Like, when you look at our fixture list, like if we had said at the beginning of the season, that you were going to, so we played, who we played? So we played Man City away, we played Liverpool away, we played Spurs away, and we played Man United away. I would have bet you any money that in our group chat, amongst the Touchy Gooners community, we would have probably said 4 defeats.
Yep.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right.
So we've got like a lot of hard fixtures out of the way. And I feel like our league position is obviously it's not lying because those are the results. But the fact is we've got a lot more easier games coming where I feel like we're probably going to get more points out of them. Even as a side that in pre-season we thought we'd finish maybe top 6, top 7, some even saying top 4. I think we all would have said we would have probably lost all 4 of those games or got maybe 1 or 2 points at the most. We got 3 points out of those games. It just so happens. So I'm trying to look at the positives here.
I don't see us buying a win against most teams in the league. That's the problem. So yeah, I know. I don't see us beating Brighton. I don't see us beating what's their names?
Southampton.
I don't see us beating Southampton. I don't see us beating Burnley the weekend. I don't see us beating any of these teams. I think we maybe struggle to win against like a West Brom, maybe, but I don't see where we're going to buy wins from. I see us beating about 3 or 4 teams in the league comfortably. The rest is a toss-up. So if it goes badly, relegation's not out of the question.
To be fair, it's been like that for like since lockdown. We haven't actually battered anyone apart from that Fulham game, which that's a championship side. But like, if you've looked at us since lockdown, we don't create any separation, even in the games that you feel like we should win. So it's really been like that. All our matches are 50-50 under Arteta. We've regressed slightly now because Aubameyang's not scoring and we're not creating any chances. And now we're just there for the taking. So, I don't really see where our wins are coming from. Our last open play goal is still Pepe's one from against Sheffield United. Like, he's been suspended.
I don't even remember it, mate. I don't even remember it.
It's so long. I
can remember.
Are you a Pepe fan, Gomez?
Yeah, I'm a Pepe fan.
Oh.
I think he's being let down by the
That you has let himself down.
No.
He has let himself down.
No.
He is a disgrace.
No.
He's a joker.
Like, do you mean he's got ability?
Nah, Leroy, disgrace is harsh. Disgrace is harsh.
He's
He's got ability.
He's come to this league and disgraced himself. He
Nah.
has not applied himself. You cannot tell me that he has applied himself.
He's not at the level that we need to see, but disgrace is harsh.
His intensity levels aren't high enough, but outside of that, he's been let down by the club. And
To get the intensity levels is concentration, because I'm sorry, I'm seeing too many dodgy touches. I'm seeing too much head down. I'm seeing he's not really pushing hard enough. He's not trying hard enough. I'm sorry, on pure effort, he should be able to do a lot better than he's doing. But he's not applying himself. He's disgraced himself. He's disgraced his family.
Disgraced the family name.
Do you think as a player there, though, do you think he's got a high ceiling?
Nah.
Oh, come on.
Nah.
What? But you see this high ceiling stuff here. This is what I kind of, because I used to be in the Pepe camp, but you know, I like to switch allegiances from time to time. I don't really see where this whole high. What's it based on? Is it based on the season at Lille, or is it based on things that you've seen at Arsenal?
So it's a combination of his season at Lille, but also I think a lot of what he did at Lille is repeatable in the Premier League. Like, we've seen, he's got a great left foot. He's a great finisher. He's able to create separation to get his shots and crosses off, and we've seen his crossing and his shooting and finishing is good. So all for me is like, you might disagree with that.
No, I'm laughing at the comment. So Pepe's ball control is trash. And it's killing
He's a bit unreliable. He's a bit inconsistent with technique. But like, if you get him in the final third and he's on the end of things, you're gonna get a good output from him. And he's already shown, like, he got almost 20 goals and assists last season. But all right, a lot of it was in cup competitions. But if you get him in those,
you got what?
When you say almost 20 goals, does that mean that it was like 14? So about six more to go, yeah?
18. And that was in sub.
Was it 18?
18 what? Goal contributions?
Yeah, so you got 18. You got 18 or was it 16?
It sounds nice, doesn't it? It sounds nice. 18
Wait,
goal.
I'm going to need someone to verify that for me.
Someone check that. I'm pretty sure it was in.
I think it is because Arsenal Twitter were running wild with that stat where they were using it to justify that it hasn't been a flop signing.
So, and that was in 29 starts in suboptimal role, new league, price tag, all like 3 managers. So if he can deliver 18 goals and assists, I feel like there is a player there that can get you 25 if he was used correctly. The issue Arsenal have, and with their attackers, we just don't create enough volume of opportunity. Like, if you look at Sterling, Salah, Werner, Mane, and all of them players, no one's really clinical. They're not clinical. They just get such a high volume of chances that they end up putting them away. Now, that's what Pepe needs to try and base his game on. That's how he needs to be used, where it's
intense enough, though.
Yeah, that is his biggest issue. And he needs to try and get
he
that
plays
out.
in gear. Oh yeah, look, just as this comment comes up, yeah, he plays in first gear all the time. That's it. Like, he wants the game to be played at his pace, and he's not good enough for the game to be played at his pace. Number one, like,
I don't know. I think that's harsh. I think, like, to be honest, yeah, probably like he can't play in gear 1 and still be, you know, a player that starts for a top 4 side. But if he gets his motivate, like, he has to be a give and take between the club, the manager, and Pepe, where they all come together. You know, he understands he needs to work really hard, and then you can see a player there. I haven't given up on him.
You haven't given up on him. All right. Well, how long until you do give up on him? What are you looking from Pepe this season? We're in December, right? And so, what would be a good Pepe season?
If he's used correctly, you know, I
what
reckon.
What about if he's not used correctly?
If he's not used, then it goes out the window. Innit? I like Arteta using him in all Arteta seems to be doing is just signing players that are going to play in that exact same position that Pepe plays in.
Who do you prefer, Zaha or Pepe?
Zaha.
Okay, all right, cool.
I wanted Zaha like last 2 summers ago, whenever it was. But I do like Pepe, and I just think you need to put him in the right role to succeed. And if you don't, then it's like telling Aubameyang to play false 9 or something. Like, you just not get the best out of it.
I do agree with you. I just don't like having such limited players in my team. Like, I 100% agree with you. I think we could be getting way more out of Pepe by playing him properly. But I just don't like having such a limited player where we have to play in such a specific way to get the best out of someone who I don't even think is that good. Like he'll be better than what he's showing, but I don't think he's going to be good enough to lead us to top 4 or to a title challenge. I don't think he's that good. It would just be it'd be an improvement on what we have, but that's about it, really.
Do you think we could be a top 4 side with Pepe starting right wing?
Yeah, maybe with Neymar on the other wing.
I think with the right manager. With the right attacking intent. We've had no offensive managers, since Pepe's been at the club, and I think that's the thing I'm waiting to see, or that's the thing I'm holding on for. Like I'm kind of where I'm at with Pepe. Like I'm kind of like, if he comes good, any good that can come of him from this point, cool, I'll accept it. If not, I've already written it off in my mind as like, yeah, cool. Like, do you know what I mean? But I still think we haven't had a manager who, I agree with like parts of what Gomez has said. We haven't had a manager who's been able to get the best out of him. We haven't had a manager who's kind of played to any of his strengths, really. We don't build down his side. We don't get players close enough to him to combine with him. So I just think like what again, he's another one where it's kind of like he's got a skill set. He does have a skill set. We're not utilizing that skill set at all. What more do we want from him? Because we can't expect him to be things that he's not, and that's where I'm at with it.
Fair enough. Yeah. Let's go through some quick fire questions then. I've got some from the YouTube and I've got some from our patrons as well. This one's from the YouTube. Joey Essence asks, many clubs nowadays feel they can benefit from a change in ownership. Who are examples of great owners today that you want running our club?
I'll say Villa's got some great owners. Villa's owners seem to be really...
Villa's owner.
Yeah. I don't know who they are, but I was reading some articles on them, and they seem to be really attuned with the club. They put a lot of money in investment.
Nassif Saris.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Roman. I'd always say Roman. I think he's a great owner. I do. I think he looks at what's needed for his club and he goes out and does it. And he front loads and he gets the money on. He gets returns. So credit to him, because people talk about, oh yeah, he spends a lot of money, but which they do. But yeah, he makes a lot of money. He makes a lot of money from Chelsea Football Club. Revenue from cups, from competitions, from sponsorships, from advertisements, and the reputation of his club has grown exponentially in the last 18 years or whatnot. So yeah, man, like credit to him.
Do you think that kind of ownership would work in the Premier League these days, though, with FFP and all those kind of financial rules that you have?
They eat FFP, man. Them City had a whole team. Remember City? They tried to do City last year, early this year with the FFP. City had a team of lawyers.
Get away with that. I don't think everyone gets away with that.
I think if your money's long, then boy, you could pretty much do what you want. To be honest with you, City had a team of lawyers on job. They're playing in the. I just saw them, like Aguero just did a madness. Just like they're in the Champions League. Like there's no ban. It's calm. Like their money's long. It's calm.
D on YouTube, he asks, he's got a picture of Drake as his display picture. Actually, do you have belief that Arteta can turn this round by February? And if we don't make Europa League spot, should he leave?
No, he's not going to turn it around by February, and he should leave as soon as an appropriate manager comes up.
What's an appropriate manager?
Anyone that's appropriate manager that we could get. So
but in your opinion, who would that be?
I said Hasenhüttl. I think Hasenhüttl was a good choice.
Would that be the only one, or
this is difficult because what I really want is someone who's got skin in the game, who's got experience, who you can see has he's coached at a decent level, and number two, who's gone through hard times, who's played good football, who has a clear philosophy, and there's not going to be that many that we could get, but Hasenhüttl was a good choice for me. And I think he's at Southampton, so he's definitely attainable for us.
Yeah. Why February? That's what I want to know. Like, what? Like, does this have to continue until February? Like, are you a masochist? Like, why do you want to wait that long?
I guess he's probably thinking 2 months, maybe. I don't know. Maybe get the January
after January. Maybe that's the only logic I can feel. Because people are saying, yeah, they're hopeful for the Burnley game. And that, like, my hands are washed of him, and I don't. Even if we see the odd, because what we will see are odd results. So we may well see a victory against Burnley, but I don't think like that's not going to change anyone's. But no one's mind should be changed. Like, we haven't turned a leaf or anything. Like, maybe we were fortunate on the day.
Khalid asks, is the problem with our ownership is that we simply need to utilize our resources better than we are? I think that's obviously true, but at the same time, the ownership are the ones hiring the people to spend the resources, right? So ultimately, yes, we've spent money poorly, but if you're hiring guys like Raus and Leahy, Unai Emery, who else have we hired? Sven Mislintat, Husfarmy, these guys, then you have to be held culpable for that, man. The buck stops with them, and they got no football people in the board anymore. Like,
exactly. This was just about to say that. If I'm a business owner and say I don't really know much about American football, yeah, what am I going to do? I'm going to have my board full of people who know the game inside out, people who've played the game from all different levels and have several different opinions, so people can form a consensus. Yeah, they've got no football people on the board, and they don't know nothing about football. So any idiot with a good PowerPoint can go and twang them, and then they'll think, oh yeah, this is the guy. It's stupid. They need to build the board first. Get the board right. They probably need 4 or 5 additions on that board. They need football heads in there, and then once they've got that, then you've got something to fall back on, because we know football. So people who know football can tell you when something's going wrong, but they don't really know that. They're just going with whatever. Oh yeah, Pepe, yeah, is this, is that, is this, is that. Like Bayern had their football people and thought, nah, Pepe ain't it, mate. Pepe ain't it. And that's why they didn't buy him. Simple as that. That's the difference between us and Arsenal. We got swindled into spending 72 million, and they didn't buy him because they thought, nah, look, he needs too much space. He's a League One merchant, really.
Fair enough. Okay.
Just on ownership. I'm seeing loads of reports saying Josh Kroenke is going to get involved. I'm like, what's he going to do? Like, he doesn't know. Like, just like you guys said, he doesn't know anything. So, more involvement from the owners isn't necessarily positive. Just because.
It's like the monarchy saying, "Oh yeah, look, we're gonna make someone younger king." I don't know. I'm making references because I'm watching the crowd.
I knew it. From that we said monarchy, I said this guy's watching the crowd.
It's like, yeah, okay, we're out of touch, so we're gonna get some of the young people involved who are maybe more in touch. Yeah. It's not gonna make any difference. You guys are still out of touch. You still don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're not equipped to deal with the issue at hand.
Yeah. I do think that we've messed up the structure. We never planned. We never did succession planning for how the club is going to work in the aftermath of arson. When we did try to do it, it was too late in the day, and we did it in a disrespectful way to Arsene. He's gone. The structure's changed. The structure changed again. And I think until you get that right, we're going to continue to just see these just like shoddy and ad hoc appointments, because ultimately everything that you lot have said, who's advising the owners? Like, who do you even have within the network who gives the correct information to the owners on the right appointment? And if you even just think about the short list of managers, who we interviewed when Wenger did leave, and we ended up with Emery, you think that something's wrong. Do you see what I'm saying? But we need that to be right, man, because I just think we'll make another shoddy appointment. I don't think Arteta was really well thought through. Emery obviously wasn't really well thought through, and I think we'll just continue to repeat mistakes. So I don't have confidence in these guys to do the right thing.
Yeah. To be honest, my biggest thing now is, if Arteta I was happy with his decision making and his talent ID, even if he couldn't coach for Toffee, I wouldn't even mind keeping him.
Same.
The biggest problem is recruitment.
Yeah.
The biggest big problem is we need to get in the right type of players. The Premier League is going in one direction.
Yeah.
Your athleticism, your speed is so important. I'm going to put my sportsman's hat on, actually. There's an Arsenal conference, which I went to a few years ago, and I'll never forget what they said. They said, when you get someone who is 11, 12, 13 years old, they asked me, what is the one thing that will be one marker, one thing you can measure that will tell you whether this person's going to be a professional footballer at the highest level or playing in the conference? What do you, man, think it was?
It had to be like athleticism, physicality, intensity, explode. Yeah.
Acceleration over 3 yards.
Mm.
That is the one thing that you can get someone from 12 years old, and you can predict pretty accurately this person's going to be at the top level of the game or this person's going to be lower down the game.
Fast twitch muscles, boy.
And the thing is, the Premier League is all about that at the top level. So your recruitment needs to be holistic. But I feel like the recruitment is not focusing on the right athletic and physical profiles.
That's what I was going to ask. How many of our current players passed that test?
None. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's why we're 15. Even though they probably have certain qualities which are way above the players they're playing against, they're getting run off the pitch. It's not going to work.
I say Martinelli passes that test.
He does, but technically he's not that great. Technically, Martinelli's got loads of flaws in the game.
Yeah, he's got loads of flaws.
Why is he impactful in this league? Because he has the key attributes.
Yeah,
and you need that. You need that. Whatever position you're playing. I don't care if you're right back, left back, centre mid, up front. You need that.
Aubameyang passes that test. Saka passes that test. We got a few, not many, not nowhere near enough. But yeah, I'd say we've got a few. Acceleration over 3 yards. I think of 5 of those guys.
Last question before we wrap things up. Then is from Tommy Ajayi 1 from the Patreon. He asked. So this is a question about recruitment. So I guess we could have a little talk about that. He asked, would you sign a player like Draxler or Isco on loan?
Hey.
We're not that bad, man.
I've been arguing about this all day.
We've had a bit of a debate today.
And these bums want Draxler, yeah? Draxler's going to be the same nonsense that we've been suffering from the whole time. So the argument was Draxler or Barkley. And everyone knows I'm a self-confessed Barkley fan. And I've been singing Barkley's praises for a while. And I think that's someone we should have been recruiting, especially when he was cheap to buy. But Draxler, I think you're going to be the same problems. He's going to be running in treacle on transition. He's going to be nice technically, but he doesn't have the intensity and the physical profile that needed to succeed in this league. Now, yes, some players might not be as bright as others. Some players might be brain dead. A good coach, especially a coach like Mikel Arteta, who's literally micromanaging you on the pitch, they can compensate for that, but you can't compensate for intensity, for speed, sprint speed, recovery on transition, able to get away from players going forward on transition. You need your whole squad to be like that. You need the whole team to be like that. So yeah, no Draxler, no Isco, because Isco's a bad B right now. He needs a BBL or something like that. Go to a beach.
You mean he's got a BBL?
He is fat as fuck. Nah, I'm not interested. So yeah, we need those type of players are completely the wrong profile for the Premier League. We're going in the complete wrong direction. And it's another one, we're linked with Buendia, right? I like a lot of Buendia's qualities, and he is intense, but he's intense like Ceballos is intense. He hasn't got the athletic profile that
tenacious.
Yeah, tenacious, fine. But if you're going to play Buendia left wing, it's going to be the same problem. The same problem. And if you're going to play Buendia, some people call him about him playing centre mid. Same problem. Like, we can't be recruiting these type of profiles anymore.
Yeah.
So who should we be recruiting them? Who in January is a realistic acquisition to make that would improve us? Who you guys got your eyes set on?
I'm going to speak on this because I'm trying to.
Yours quiet. Because we've got our Patreon piece tomorrow. I'll keep mine quiet as well. But let's hear what Gomez and Leroy got to say.
Is it all realistic or not?
I think it's realistic.
Look at very realistic.
You look at the issues that are going on in the yeah, exactly. You look at what's going on in France. I think if you put the money on the table, I think it'd be silly to turn it down. The issue obviously lies with those agent fees and stuff like that. I'm not too sure if that's still going to be the same. You told a brother to shut his mouth and hold that $3 million? Like what? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you either just give Awar like a bigger signing bonus and just tell him to send that to his brother. But I'm guessing what they just don't want to set an example for other agents in the future to just rip them off, is what I assume, because 5 million in the grand scheme of things for Arsenal Football Club, like you get that done in it. But if it was me and like Kroenkes actually gave me the money, I would sign Awar and I'll sign Basuma.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
And then I'll switch it to a 4-3-3 and say, here you go, Arteta, Basuma, and or you can go a 4-2-3-1 if you want. Partey, Basuma, and
Keith D says Gomez will say bring back Iwobi.
You know what? Iwobi last season for Arsenal, yeah.
Right, stop this. Because I thought it was banter, but when you start saying, you know what, I start thinking, nah, you've been all right, don't ruin it at the last minute. Don't ruin it. I'll be back.
If we could bring our summer window forward and we got the money, I'd try and be cheeky, because I feel like I would sign the same 2 players. I'd try and sign Aouar because of what's going on in the French market. I'd try and sign Basuma or someone similar. Even though I'm not really massively keen on Samare from a technical standpoint, I'd consider signing Samare as well, because I think he'd be available for a bargain and it'd be a good profile to have in the squad to build up for the future. But if we can get him in January, that's nice. And I'd be cheeky and see, because obviously Zaha has had this beef with Palace and he was sliding for us this summer saying, oh, look, they've lowered the price, it's 30 mil, that's easily doable in this market. Had a man posting him on Instagram, going to the rave, having it put on the banner in the rave, Zaha to Arsenal and all that kind of stuff.
Bottle show and that.
So I feel like if we went to Zaha in January, he is going, because he probably thinks the chance is gone now. And if we did it, he is going to agitate like a bastard for that move. And we may be able to get it done in a clever. So I would try and go Zaha, Basuma, and Aouar. Just blow the bag.
That's £100 million window.
Blow the bag in January. I wouldn't buy anyone in the summer. Blow the bag in January.
We wouldn't buy anyone in the summer.
No, we can't. I'm saying bring our window forward, because that's what we could afford.
Do you think it's too late on Zaha though? How old is he now?
You know what? We're desperate. And who else are we going to get?
Yeah, fair. I mean, other than Zaha, I don't think there is anyone for left wing.
So there's no young options out there, no?
Well, I don't watch enough world football anymore to really. That's the scout team's job. But then I don't trust the scout team. So players I know, that's who I would sign out of the players I know. And then I would just go hell for leather. I'd be like Partey, Basuma, pivot, Bear, P&P. I'd have Zaha on the left. I'd have Pepe Le Pew on the right. I'd have Aouar in the middle behind Aubameyang, and see where we go from there.
It's a decent side.
Put Saliba in the team.
No right back.
The thing is, we do need a new right back, but we'll have to struggle with our property options at the moment, man.
Yeah, they've got to throw the bag at Lamptey the season after.
I'll tell you what's going to happen in Jan, guys, all right? Let me tell you. I've foreseen it, all right? Philip Meck says on a free transfer.
Oh, fuck off, mate. Fuck right off, mate. Wait, stop pissing me off, I beg. Philip fucking Meck says fucking 37-year-old centre-back. Yeah. He's done his, where is he? Where is he? La Tigres in fucking Mexico, where they've all gone Gignac and them, man. This is crazy.
Yeah. All right.
One last question. Do you man have Eriksen?
No.
Nah.
What about on loan?
No.
Nah.
Absolutely not.
Nah. He's not gonna.
Just repeat that.
Eriksen.
No. Oh, that's disgusting.
I know.
On Londo.
No. Listen, you're making it worse, fam. Gomez, man. When the live cuts, we're gonna.
What's the case?
What's the case? If you can't get a war, and you're not going to re-register Ozil, I'd rather keep our flexibility for that squad position than sign a bum or sign.
Eriksen is better than nobody, though.
Nah. This is the problem.
There's players I'll try and get on loan over Eriksen. Loads of other players.
We fill the squad with compromised players that we can never get rid of, that are on high wages. Nah. We need to sign the right players. Always go for the right player. That's it.
Yeah.
So you can't get the right player in Jan because everyone your idea is not realistic, Leroy.
There'll be another loan option. There'll be a loan option somewhere else.
Yeah. I think what's the point taking Eriksen? We've got Willian. Worst comes to worst, play Willian.
Eriksen's better than Willian.
Eriksen's dead still though.
Yeah, I think they're rubbish. I just think you're just switching rubbish for rubbish. Like
I would do it if it was like complete last resort. I would do it. If we couldn't get anyone and we exhausted the market.
Yeah, to me that is trying to pay sense from nonsense.
We have nobody, you know. We have nobody.
I'd recall Guendouzi from loan.
What, play him in number 10?
Over Eriksen. I wouldn't play with a number 10 if I did that. I'd just have like 3-man mid. But yeah, man, I'm not having Eriksen.
No.
The thing is, he suits Arteta's style as well.
Nah, he's rubbish, fam. He's so rubbish. Yeah.
Are you asking questions about the fact that this guy who was already losing his athleticism and it was out of touch at Tottenham went Inter, slowly Italy, and they're happy to let him go like 12 months later.
He would stink the joint out.
That's alarm bells. Like alarm bells have been going off in my head. Like from the moment that we were linked with him, I said, why did they want to get rid of him? Why is he even available on loan? Like he ain't been there a year. Yeah, literally went there in January, like near like mid-Jan, end of Jan. Like he ain't been there a year. It's crazy. Why?
I wouldn't have him permanently in it. I don't.
You're backtracking now.
I'm just saying on loan. I just don't see the risk.
We're gonna cuss you when the live stops. We're gonna cuss you.
He's a bum. He's a bum. No.
No.
On that note, let's call it a day because it's been a long pod and it's been a depressing pod. So I think we all need to get back to happier things and get on with our evenings. But thank you for everyone tuning in live. Thank you to Gomez for joining us. I hope you've had a good evening and I hope you've enjoyed coming on. You're welcome back anytime. Guys, we'll be having a Patreon. Gomez, actually, before you go, where can people find you on Twitter, just in case people don't already follow you?
It's Gomez Ape _ on Twitter. Follow me up. I'm about on Twitter, innit?
Good. At least you haven't given your Instagram like certain other man. Yeah.
Wow,
that's good. But yeah, we're gonna be back. Me and Shabs are gonna be back tomorrow. Who's on the page? It's Sean and
we've got Sean. We've got Dan Coogs.
We're gonna do 8 ways to fix Arsenal in January. So tune into that one, guys, and we'll be back next week. Hopefully after 3 points against Burnley. Take it easy.